it wasn't like I chose to go ahead and see what the lack of reading would do to me. But once I ended up here, I'm like, yeah, let's like take a dive into like my mental state and how I feel like the lack of reading has taken a toll. Welcome to the anti-booktube, anti-reading challenge of summer 2025. This is a little embarrassing, but I mean, I haven't even thought about filming a video in like 2 months. Like I've just been, I don't think I could describe to you how insane the past 2 months have been for me, but it's been crazy. This is a book channel about reading specifically and not collecting books and talking about the fact that I never get to read them, but like actually reading books. So the fact that I haven't read a book in like a month and a half is a little embarrassing. But the thing is, I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to think about it. Like, life has been insane. It is hot. I'm gonna turn the AC on. Hopefully that cools down pretty quickly, and hopefully you can still hear me because now there's a AC running in the background. But it's hot. The month of June, I got stuck in a country, and then I was trying to get back to America because two people I really like were getting married. Yeah, ended up working out, made it to America, and I also got to see my whole family who hadn't seen me since I told them about the pregnancy. And yeah, I popped a lot since I told them about it actually. So now I'm like significantly pregnant, currently in my 8th month. So that's taken a toll on me and taking a toll on like my brain and like I feel like my ability to focus also. Like I just haven't been able to just read a book. Like it's just tough. But basically I found myself in the month of July super busy, like in America, wedding prep, then actual wedding, then hanging out with family, and then afterwards like trying to figure out where I'm gonna live because while I love to travel, I don't know if lifestyle is so conducive to having a newborn. Like I feel like I need my stuff to have a place. I need my baby stuff to have a place. I need to like know where my next meal is coming from. So yeah, finding our next home for like a year. Again, we're not like buying or anything, but like renting an apartment is not a walk in the park. It's like, so I'm basically spending like hours and hours and hours just like scrolling websites and groups and WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups and just like trying to figure out where the heck we're gonna live. Finally did that. Had so many apartments fall through before we actually signed, but like the month of July was nuts. We only actually moved in August, and like then we moved in and didn't have a couch, didn't have a bed, didn't have an oven, didn't have a stove. Like, I'm sorry, it's only in America I feel like that you actually get rental apartments like with appliances. That's like not a thing where I am. So yeah, like just didn't have fridge, washer, dryer. Like yeah, so basically had a place that I could use a bathroom, which was nice, but also between like renting an apartment and like living in Airbnbs, we just like lived out of a car on the beach. Just slept on the beach, which again was a story, was a fun little adventure that happened in the middle of there. But being 8 months pregnant and sleeping on the beach, everyone thought I was crazy, but no, that actually wasn't so bad. It was basically just there was a cockroach in the bathroom and I couldn't go in the middle of the night. But I used the men's bathroom, so I'm in August and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't picked up a book. So like it wasn't like I chose to go ahead and see what the lack of reading would do to me. But once I ended up here, I'm like, yeah, let's like take a dive into like my mental state and how I feel like the lack of reading has taken a toll on just like my entire life. So I think I picked up a book at one point. I like tried to, like I picked up my Kindle and I was like, I had a book downloaded that I had waited for weeks for, finally got, and like every other book on my Kindle, on my like Libby, I keep like pushing off because I'm like not ready to read them yet because I haven't read this book, but like I did not get more than 2 pages and like literally 2 screens, like just like I can't focus, which I think my lack of reading has made focusing worse, if that makes sense. So yeah, welcome to the anti-booktube, anti-reading challenge of summer 2025. So like I said, I am currently in my third trimester. My belly is taking up room. It's taking up room like everywhere. I'm tired. It's like, I feel like a cliche, but there's, I guess, a reason that there's a cliche about pregnancy. Like, I don't know. And people say I'm glowing, but I think they just tell you that, you know, because I don't feel like I'm glowing. It's not, I look in the mirror and I'm just like, you're tired and your face is bloated, but like, okay, there is a very adorable baby growing inside of me, so it's worth it. Do you know what I realize reading does? Reading empties out my brain in like a really good way. It allows me to like shut down and just restart. I feel like that's too simple a way to put it. Like I need to make you understand, okay? I need you to understand, because if you feel like this too, then we can connect and bond over the fact that we both feel like this. So let me think about it for a second. But meanwhile, also, I'm currently literally sitting on the floor. I have got, like, this is a mattress behind me. I'm just leaning against the mattress. I have the same mattress underneath me, and there's literally nothing else. Like, we've got like a folding table and chairs. It's kind of just empty. And what I've been really excited for, that I was like, oh my God, when we move back, when we finally have our own place, I really want a bookshelf, and I want, you know, I don't want to throw out my books anymore, because if you've been following along on my trip, on my travels, we would buy secondhand books a lot, and then we would just kind of leave them in Airbnbs for the next people to read, or, you know, give them, if we like met up with family or friends or whatever in random countries, we'd be like, books, you want them? We're not keeping them, because like we had just to carry on. We weren't carrying books around with us. But now I'm like, oh, I get to keep those books. Like I don't have to get rid of those anymore. So like, well, I'm not a huge book collector. I would love to be. It's a very expensive hobby. And I just read on my Kindle, like it's okay. But I just want to be able to keep the books and then have them on a nice bookshelf just somewhere in my living room. So don't currently have that right now, but trying to figure that out, and trying to figure out where I want to hide my TV, because I decided our TV always used to be the focal point of our room, of our living room, right? Be couch, TV, and then like dining room over there. But I was like, I like having a TV because, you know, sometimes you just want to veg out and watch a movie or binge a TV show, like totally legit. But like, I don't want that to be the focal point anymore. So I've also been trying to figure out how that's going to work, like hidden TV, whatever, but like rental apartment. I'm not actually spending a ton of money on doing this, because we're probably only going to be here for like a year. Maybe two, like two is like the maximum we're going to be here for. But yeah. Okay. Here's my example, or my explanation. Have you ever used a chalkboard or whiteboard in school? I would say whiteboard is not as relevant, but like I remember the transition between when we had a chalkboard to a whiteboard, and the whiteboard was just like a totally different experience. It was just like so funny. Like the chalkboard would make that like, you know, and everybody in class would like, stop. Like it's so cringy. Like the squeaking noise. Like if you've never actually experienced it, you just like won't know what it is, but like gets dust everywhere, and it gets like all over your fingers also. And then like teachers' clothes would have just like chalk everywhere, and then if you ever had to write, there'd be chalk everywhere. It was actually just, I didn't hate it. It was a lot messier than whiteboards. But the thing is that no matter how many times you erased it, there was always like an imprint still, like just the dust, maybe just a little bit of like faded words on it. It never really went away until like that, you know, teacher's pet or the person with detention or whoever got chosen, like cleaned the chalkboard, cleaned the blackboard, right? They like took a wet towel or cloth and like kind of just like wiped it down, and everything was just like clean again. And then you like almost didn't even want to write something, but that like first write on it, like, oh, good morning, everybody. You'd like write a message on it. It was just so satisfying. So I feel like kind of my brain, there's been so many things I've had to do, like with the apartment, with the baby, with travel, with like just the exhaustion level, with just like also my own health. Like in pregnancy, like nothing to do with like the baby specifically. I've just had to like take care of myself and make sure I don't turn into like a giant lump and not recognize myself, kind of. But my brain has just been scribbled on like crazy, like so much scribble. So, and I feel like reading kind of like quiets all that, like erases it just for a little bit, or even a lot. Like if I keep up with it, it's just like every night when I go to sleep, I used to just read, and I'd spend like, depending on the book, if it was really good, between 20 minutes and like an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours, depending on how good the book was, of just like reading. No, really, I would try to spend no more than like an hour so I can actually sleep, because I need my sleep. It's really important. I need to be able to sleep. So yeah, but I would just read, and like that kind of like rejuvenated me for the whole next day. Like I had like a positive like story going on in my mind, a way to escape if I needed to think about if like, the day got overwhelming, and just like grab a quick sneak 30 minutes of reading in. And not reading didn't allow me to do that. Like all of a sudden I found myself just like so overwhelmed, and because I hadn't read in so long, I couldn't read. It's like, they say like momentum is super important. So like I've been a reader my whole life. I've always read. Like this isn't like a challenge for me thing, like, oh yes, read X amount of books. Like I like tracking the amount of books I read. I read so many books this year up until July. And then I just super went back. So I don't really need like the motivation of like, oh my gosh, no, but like I'm reading streak or reading every day, whatever. I just like to read. I've just always read. But then, so even me, like I'm starting to like question who I am, my identity, because like all of a sudden I haven't read and I can't read. Like it's so much harder to focus. And on top of that, every day I like crash into bed and I'm just way too tired to read. And it's like all of a sudden there's been no like other worlds and other stories and other characters and other places to escape to. And it's been tough. It's been like, I wouldn't recommend it. Like if you like to read, I would say just keep reading. And like it's hard to go back to. Like I found myself, instead of like reading, I was like scrolling like shorts or something, and I was like, but don't do this. Like this doesn't make you happy. You're not going to feel good afterwards. You're not going to learn anything new. Nothing's going to be positively gained from this. Like don't do it. But I like couldn't focus on words. Does that make sense? So momentum is important. As in like once you do something all the time, it's very easy to keep doing it. Like, one thing that I have tried not to stop is I do yoga every single morning. I've been doing it for like almost 4 years now. And it's just important to me. It's like one of those things, like I do it every single morning. And even if I like miss one morning here or there, or like, I have an early morning appointment, or like I'm traveling and I don't have a place to like put my yoga mat down, it's fine, because I do yoga every morning, right? And I haven't stopped, so I just keep doing it. But like when you stop and then you have to start again, it is so much harder to like push yourself. And that's where I've been with reading, kind of thing. So luckily, like 3 days ago, I realized I basically had to clean this entire apartment. We've got like 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms and a porch and like a kitchen, obviously. Like obviously we have a kitchen. I mean, can you imagine if we didn't have a kitchen? Oh God. So I've had to like clean everything. And I was like, wait a second, I could listen to an audiobook. And that really helped me. Because first I was like, oh my God, I don't even have the the mental capabilities of focusing on an audiobook. Like I downloaded an audiobook. I was just like, oh yeah. It was like, there's like this really, really popular, famous, you know what? Let's not assume popular, famous. There was this book when I was like in 4th grade or something that I remember reading and just loving. It was like so good. It was like this mystery. And for some reason, a couple months ago, it like popped up for me again. And I wrote it down on like, as like my wish list. Like, oh my God, I want to try reading that again. So I just like went into my wish list and I was like, oh, let's see if that's available. It was available on Libby, an audiobook. And I was like, great. So I downloaded it. I got like 30 minutes in and I just was not having it. Like I wasn't focusing. It wasn't working. And I was like, oh my God, I can't read anymore. Like what's wrong with me? Like I can't, well, audiobooks, like wasn't reading, I was listening. I couldn't focus on like a story, I should say. And it really bothered me. And then I was like, maybe it's just the book. It was very like kid friendly. I was like, let me try something geared a little bit towards me. So there was this audiobook I listened to a while back, maybe like 2-3 months ago, and I loved it. It was like a really good, like one of those like thrillers, kind of like what happened, switching back and forth between then and now, then and now, then and now, by, what is her name? Lucy Foyle, Lucy Fail, Lucy something. But I really enjoyed it. And I was like, let me see if she has anything else. Because I just remember liking it. And then she did. And something was available right now. And I downloaded it. And that got me. And I'm like, oh, phew. Okay, so I could still listen to an audiobook. And I had such a, like, so much easier time cleaning and, like, doing all the tasks I needed to do while listening. And I was like, right, like, I forgot I could do this, but I haven't been able to do it up until now because most of my tasks have been more like brain heavy, like, you know, trying to find an apartment and then message people and then, you know, figuring out plans and like shopping. We've done so much shopping, like, you know, buying everything we needed for the apartment. Like, I couldn't also focus on like a story going on. But cleaning, you don't really need a lot of brain power for cleaning. Thank God. So I got a lot done. And I also like cooked a bunch in our new oven because we finally got it. And that was really exciting. And I didn't need a lot of brain energy for that either. Because I was making things I already like knew how to make that I hadn't been able to make in like 2 years because of travel, which is very exciting. And I'm just like, it's better. Reading is better. Like reading versus not reading. Yeah, I've done it, guys. I've tested it out, so you don't have to. I sacrificed my summer, basically, my mental health, my sanity, my brain. I sacrificed my mood and everything to tell you that if you like to read and it makes you happy, don't stop. Don't let that momentum ever stop, because like if you don't read, then all of a sudden you're kind of in this like black abyss of nothing, and life gets hard. Life gets a lot harder than it needs to be, because there's a reason that we have stories. There's a reason that we have like a way of escaping life and the mundane, or even the not mundane, like even the hard, sucky, super annoying parts of it. Like, we need to be able to just leave and like turn our brains off, turn our brains on in a different way, right? You're like shutting off one part of your brain and turning on another to just like live in someone else's shoes for a bit, I guess. But, or like be another person, because you're, yeah, that's kind of what it is. So I would say my month and a half experiment of not reading was, well, was it a failure? I kind of like knew that it would suck, and I didn't do it on purpose. And I really only did it because I had to. Like, I don't even know when I would have found time to read. But now that I'm back officially, now that we're like in a place and we're gonna get stuff for our place, and I mean, we're having a couch come tomorrow, which is like super exciting because we got it like kind of custom colors and whatever, and it's just, haven't bought like a nice couch before. It's just, it feels really big. So yeah, I don't know, these are like the little things that are exciting, but now I'll have like a permanent place to just like actually just continue, like remembering why I started this thing in the first place, to like share my love of reading and connection and stories. And like, I don't want that to end. And like, I miss doing it. And like, I'm about to have a baby. I'm literally 32 weeks today. And that's like far along. Like, I'm like, I could give birth in like 6 weeks. Like, like that's nothing. That's literally nothing. It's been 6 weeks, like since the wedding that I went to, like, and that feels like 2 seconds ago. So yeah, like life's gonna get busier, and then I'll have a newborn, and I'm just like, okay, but like, Sherry, don't forget all the things that you love to do. Do you know what I mean? And kind of this ramble is to remind myself that like, I do like filming videos, and I like talking about books, and I like talking about reading, and to remind you guys also, like, if there's something that you like to do, don't quit. don't stop. And even if it's been like 2 months or 3 months and you're cringing so hard about posting because people are going to judge you for it because like you haven't been around, just remember, no one's actually going to watch this video anyways. So it's really for me. And your video. I mean, no one's going to watch your video anyways either, because why would they? Nobody cares about you. Literally, they don't. And it's so much easier to think about it like that, because if they do, you're like, oh, surprise, you know? Unless they're trolling you, and then, I don't know, have fun crying in your bed or something. So it's just like my short video for today, just to like make sure I actually start, because it was the first time in 6 weeks I've actually found myself able to like sit down and film something with this big flowery mattress behind me. So thanks for watching. If my plight of lack of reading resonates with you, you could give this a thumbs up. If you think I suck, you could give this a thumbs down. But let me know why in the comments, because, you know, if I'm gonna do videos again, I might as well get some feedback on how to improve, right? And subscribe for hopefully more actual book-focused things, as opposed to lack of book-focused things, and just reading in general, and stories, and the ways we use creativity to like disconnect from life. Thanks. The end.